All right, fighting style feats. So in 2024, easy. 2014,
That
some of
is
these might be
a
worth making fighting styles themselves or sticking around as feats.
right, and I
We're
do.
gonna read them and see.
I've looked, and currently, I don't know if this could be something they ever change. Probably not, because the book is made for
hmm
2024. Uh,
hmm
it doesn't even show up in the fighting style list for
Correct.
2014
Correct.
classes.
No, obviously not because they're feats.
Right.
That isn't even a question, Ross. But let's keep going. Eve, you're getting some background noise.
I stepped away for a minute. You can mute me if you need to.
All right. All
Anyway,
right. So advanced weapon proficiency. You have proficiency with advanced weapons, and so these are like the cool stuff.
yeah, these are the super cra which I've looked at some of them, and some
For
of them,
some reason, that stupid pistol is one of them.
yeah. But there are some that are unique. For example, I believe
Oh.
the yeah, there
Oh, this is interesting. Special. This feat can be taken as a general feat by a character of level 8 or higher.
yeah.
That's weird. I don't get that. Like, I don't get why have it be if you if you as a GM want to limit people using advanced weaponry, well, nobody starts with them. You just gotta say, hey, you're not gonna be able to get these until you're about level 8. That's easy to do. This seems like such a weird arbitrary restriction, especially since if I am level 4 with the fighting style feature, which when do you get the fighting style feature?
Fighting style, the earliest you can get it is actually level 1 as a fighter.
The fighting style feature 2024 fighter gets it level 1.
Yeah, 2024 level 1.
So that means my level, because you can't, because this is obviously a general feat, because you can't, because of how things work.
Right.
So what you're telling me is my level 4 fighter can get it, but anybody else has to wait till level 8?
Well, other than the classes that get fighting styles, like the
But that's
paladin,
my point.
ranger, but
That's
yeah,
my
no,
point. This is
I
such an
agree. It's really weird.
arbitrary. This is such an arbitrary restriction. I don't get it because I can't even argue with the balance of some of these weapons might be too good. Because again, we're not limiting them entirely.
Right.
We're just limiting them a little bit. All right.
Yeah, I've looked at some of the masteries, and
I mean, again, that's my point. That is my point. My point is, this is silly. This is such a silly restriction. I guess approved. Ignore it. It's a general feat. If it's gonna just be a general feat. It does not make sense otherwise. You know what I mean? You can't have your cake and eat it too.
right.
Then we
Anyway.
get close combat artillerist. Being within 5 feet of an enemy doesn't impose advantage on your attack rolls with weapons. When you hit it, you get a +2 to damage. This is fairly basic.
Fairly basic, but cool.
Then we got our buddy here, dual shot. Approved, by the way.
Yeah.
A dual shot. When you take the attack action on your turn and attack with a bow or crossbow, you can make one extra attack as part of the same action against a creature that's within 10 feet of the original target that's within weapon's range. If you do so, both attacks are made with disadvantage. This is fine because their downside's enough to really like.
Enough to throw it off.
Then we got flurry. Once on each of your turns. Once on each of your turns, when you make an attack roll against with an unarmed weapon owner and have advantage on the roll, you can forgo advantage on the attack roll after resolving. You can make another attack with the same weapon or on something against a different creature. Okay, so kind of the same idea, but in reverse.
Yeah.
Then we get mobile combatant. When you take the attack action, your speed increases by 10 feet. All pretexts have disadvantage. So worse mobile.
Yeah,
I mean, because of how fighting style feats work. Mobile 24. Sorry, I want to double check something. I guess.
Oh no, it's called Speedy. It's called Speedy.
Right, they changed the name. I forgot.
I don't know why they changed the name.
Speedy. When you take the action turn, oh, Oh, it's not even. It's the same. It's not even the worst version of. It is literally the exact same.
The only difference I can see is, hey, a fighter can get a little bit of a better boost for taking this fighting style because they
Right.
can action surge, but even then, is 10 for a fighting style.
Oh.
If you want 20 extra feet of movement, are you really going to want this feat versus just having, or not this feat? But yeah, this feat and like fighting style. Like is that
I
worth
am
it?
going
And,
to. Yeah, I am going to say, banned for redundancy.
oh, this is a ban?
Did you hear the words reason why? Redundancy. Banned for redundancy, Ross.
I'll be honest, I'm surprised this is a ban, but okay.
Okay, I suspect you're. I am not banning it because it's overpowered.
Well,
I'm
just-
banning it because it literally does the same thing as the speedy feat. There is no reason to ever take this.
Well, okay. Actually, here's the issue though. Here's the thing. Here's something different to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we comparing this to Speedy when we're going to 2014? We need to look at mobile.
Ross, I've not been judging these as 20. I've been judging these as 2024 stuff all the time. This entire time, Ross. I am looking into how, if we can convert the 2014, sure.
Well, so why wouldn't? I mean, is it really a big of an issue to allow it to stack? I know you're a big thing on movement, but like this is taking up your either fighting style, which is important, or feat, which for 2024 fighting style feats are really hard to squeeze in because there's no ability score improvement or anything attached to it.
I mean, I guess, but fine. I will allow it. I still think it's redundant.
Oh no, it can be redundant.
And then opportunist. Whenever you make an attack as part of a reaction, you gain a +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls.
Hey, so that makes it to where the Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just approved.
Yep.
Prone defense. When you have the prone against you, don't have disadvantage on attack rolls. Attack rolls against you, I don't have because of prone. Still bad background music, Eve.
I don't know why,
You
because
can write yourself with only 5 feet of movement. I mean, this is very basic, but it's fine.
Yeah.
And then, what are the? You said there were 2
Yeah.
epic
so
boons. We're gonna have to come.
yeah, we're gonna have to
we
swing
might have
back
to-
to epic boon feats, but there are 2 that we were able to look at because the other one involves a whole new mechanic we have not had a chance to read yet.
Yeah.
And the 2 that don't involve a special mechanic is the boon of magic resistance and boon of perfect flight,
Oh,
which thankfully are
Here,
right next to
I
each
will
other.
say, I will say, my approval of epic boons are gonna be very loosey goosey, because for all intents and purposes, it's end game. You get them.
Right, you're basically level 20. Like
You have a fly speed of 40 feet and can hover. If you fall more than 5 feet, your rate of descent doesn't slow to 60 feet per round until you land. Does that? Oh, slow 60. Sorry, not. Ignore me. Anyways, honestly, for a level 19 thing, this is kind of lame. And then you said magic resistance,
yeah,
right?
which is just above it.
Pretty sure if you fail a saving throw, you can cause yourself to succeed instead. Once, you know what? Yep, fine. Level 19 plus, fine. Yeah, these are fine.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Before we look at any of the more of these, we're gonna have to look at both the spells and the new features of this book.
Yep. And yeah, let's get
That is it for now. Let's go.
spells.
All right.
First instance, we are going for cantrips. In our first option, let me take a look at my
Mhm.
little handy document.
Yep.
Is called Calling Card, who is for the Bard, Sorcerer, Warlock, and Wizard.
It is an action. It is a touch spell. There are some somatic material components, however. A stamp carved like the mark left by your calling card. It lasts until time. You touch a corpse and leave a magical mark. You can choose to make it a visible mark that appears on as a rune or word written in the flesh, or you can choose to make the mark invisible. A creature that takes a study activity name in the court automatically detects it whether visible or invisible. I am going to be honest. This is so nothing that I would just let you do this if that was something you want your character to do.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of like why a player character would want to do this. I could see a DM
No.
using this as like a little story hook
no.
thing.
No,
But-
I can entirely see why a player would want to do this. I just don't think it needs to be a. I think this would be a fun player character, especially if you're playing like a rogue inspired by Zorro or any number, or like a Phantom Thief, or basically any type of rogue, which I guess means we have to be an arcane trickster, right? But yeah, I could see many of players wanting to have this be a thing their character does. I just
I guess
don't see. I, as a DM, would just let you do this. No cantrip required.
I guess the real benefit of this is the fact that until it allows them to dispel, which means that this will never. Let's say normally your calling card is a card like this uses material components. That card will eventually, let's say it rains on the body or something like that.
I repeat, as a DM, I would just let you do this. I am not saying, oh, you can have your character leave a physical calling card. I am saying, if you are a magical character and you want this to be a thing your character does, I would let you do it.
Right. So, approved but pointless? No, wait, we had a word for it.
It was approved but pointless for our table.
Approved but pointless for our table.
For the record, talking about it as a spell, it is interesting, but the issue is, I cannot see a situation, even if I want to be a character who leaves a calling card, where I want to pick this over any other cantrip.
Right, because cantrips, unlike regular spells, cantrips are high, weirdly enough, a high cost that no one ever thinks about, really.
Well, it's not that they're high cost, it's that can you change cantrips when you level up in 2024? I know you can't in 2014.
Well,
but
no,
2024 has a bit of...
I think there are optional rules that allow you to, like, once again, ASI specifically.
You're correct. But I'm talking about because the reason I say this is because I know 2024 lets you change spells when you level up.
I don't know
either way. I still maintain, yeah. Okay, next.
Next one. We have Frightful Start.
Frightful Start. Ooh, fun. Sorry. Trying to find that. There we go.
There it is. What do we got? So cantrip, again for Bard, Sorcerer, Warlock, and Wizard.
It is an action, 30 feet, a verbal somatic material, a dead spider.
Lasts for 1 round.
It lasts a round. You twist your visage to scare a creature that you can see within range. The creature must, wisdom save or have the frightened condition until the start of your next turn. Yeah.
I mean,
this is fine.
Yeah, I mean, 1 round of fear. I mean, sure, it's cantrip, so it's free, but I mean, you can only cast during the first round. I mean, it's fine. Not anything too fancy, but I mean, fear's nice.
What do you mean? What do you mean you only cast it during the first round?
Oh! I
Did you think the duration was?
I'm dumb.
No, but again, here's the thing.
Okay, maybe it's because it said start.
As a reminder, we've already this is designed for 2024. We've already severely nerfed Action Surge.
True.
So there really is not a situation where you're going to be able to do this and cast like another spell.
You know what? I was about to say something wrong. I was about to say that sorcerers could do it on 2 targets with Twin Spell, but I just remembered for 2024 specifically, they changed how Twin Spell worked to where that you can't do that anymore.
Correct. Anyways, this spell's approved.
Yeah. Nothing. It's not fine. It's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
The next one, which I believe we covered in the previous book, but it'll re-jog our memory. Holy Word.
The Holy Word. Before I read this, what did we say about it last time?
Let me find out. This might have been before we started documenting them like in the proper Google
mean-
Doc. But let me just.
We've documented them somewhere because that's literally the point.
We did have it as a doc. Okay, let's see. The notes I have is it is just allowed. Here I will open it up, Holy Word, as well, to where, like, we'll read it and then I'll mention if there are any changes
Okay.
to it.
Ross, I have a challenge.
Okay.
We're going to read it simultaneously, both versions, because that's funny. So, we're going to start at Holy Word, like the top of the spell title.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
I am hopefully ready.
3, 2, 1. Holy Word. Evocation cantrip for the cleric.
For the cleric.
Casting time
of
action.
action.
Range 60
60
feet. Components verbal somatic.
Yeah.
Duration instantaneous.
Instantaneous.
Here we go. You whisper a divine
You
word under
murmur
your
a
breath.
word of divine under your breath, being careful not to
speak loudly
any louder.
For such
For
celestial
such celestial
power
is not to be tainted. And
Stop. They completely reworded it.
yeah, they.
Okay, all right. Read yours first, then I'll read mine.
Let's see. Such celestial powers is not to be tainted and unworthy. Make a spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes 1d8 radiant damage. If you hit an undead, fiend, or fey, its speed is reduced by 10 feet, and it cannot take reactions until the end of its next turn. At higher levels, the scaling increases by 1d8 for each the normal cantrip scaling, capping out at 48 at 17th
Alright.
level.
I will tell you now, the wording changed, the spell is unchanged. It does the exact same thing. You whisper a divine word under your breath, careful not to speak loudly for such celestial powers for the unworthy. Make a ranged spell attack against the target within range. On the hit, the target takes 1d8 radiant damage. If the target is fey, fiend, or undead, its speed is reduced by 10, and it can't take reaction at the end of the turn. Unchanged, so you'll be surprised to hear
We're banning it.
my ruling is unchanged. Approved.
Next, I believe we also have covered, and it might be nearby Holy Word, Hunter Sense.
Ooh, I can't.
Oh, it's literally right there.
All right, Hunter Sense.
And let me check, because I believe we looked at this before. I should have these pages next to each other. Here we go. The only note is approved.
Divination cantrip. Concentration up to 1 minute. You touch a willing creature for the duration. The target senses are heightened. Whenever the target makes a perception check, it can treat a d20 of 10. So I allowed this.
Yep. Let me just double check to make sure that there is no difference. Touch one creature. Action. Concentration. If they roll 9 or below. Does the other one classify just a perception check, as well?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. For all intents and purposes, it is the exact same.
Why did I approve this? One minute? I guess I have to stick with my original guns.
Is there something that you're looking back on now and not liking about it?
The fact that you get to do this for the whole minute for cantrip is insane to me. Like, getting it, but I guess, you know what? Yeah, I think I know why I approved it. It's because of situations where it would be useful, it's not. So.
Right.
Alright, it stays. It's still approved.
Yep. And we actually have the next one on the screen already. Illusionary Instrument, which is one that we have never seen before. This is for the Bard and the Warlock.
The casting type is an action. Its range is touch. The components of verbal somatic. It lasts 10 minutes. You create an illusionary copy of a mundane musical instrument. The copy of the instrument takes on the shape of your fondest memory of the instrument, such as the first flute you owned or the half-harp gifted to you by a loved one.
Basically flavor.
This illusion moves its physical counterpart wood, but it's witless and intangible to you. The instrument can be used as spellcasting focus. The illusionary instrument dissipates. If you move 10 feet away from it or choose to end the spell. As a bonus action, you command the instrument to create one of the following effects. Mimic-based sounds heard on a daily basis, such as a bird chirping, footsteps slamming door, Automatically play a basic beat at the tempo of your choice. Record anything played on it and play it back on a loop. Record and play back any noise that can pick up within 15 conversations royal decree, or a snoring party member who swears that they don't snore. I like that one. That's funny.
Yeah, that last little detail is actually very funny. I'll say this.
Hmm.
This is fun. This is a fun
It
idea.
is fun. However,
Oh no.
in certain campaigns, I may choose to ban this. Not over. It's not my general rule. I believe we have a category for this where it's like banned unless, or allowed but campaign dependent.
Allowed.
Here is my issue. I think in more gritty games, where like losing your focus is supposed to be a real threat, I don't like that this bard basically gets to just snap their fingers and never lose their focus.
You know what? I was wondering what you were going with by with that. That is fair. I'll be
To
honest.
be clear,
I'm looking.
in like in the 2 games we're running right now, I would never take your focus away.
Right.
But if I'm ever, because I will say this, one of the campaigns that I have in the works where I want to finish the guilds is one where I could totally see myself doing that.
Right.
And for that game, I would not allow this cantrip.
Which is fair. I'll be straight up. Because I've looked at this cantrip. I thought this was very flavorful. I thought this could be really fun as a, like, especially the tempo of your choice. You could have this be like in the background as a bard while you're doing a performance.
Just realized,
Like,
but
this is-
oh wait,
this is
I
a
just
fun
realized
idea.
it's stronger than you think because of the way it's worded.
Oh.
This instrument can be used as a spellcasting focus is not class dependent. It doesn't say this spellcasting uses a bard focus, which is what all spellcasting instruments can be. So I think that I would rule this, just as a fun little thing, that if anyone gets this thing, is it say, yeah, if anyone is able to get their hands on this cantrip, probably like magical secrets or something, I would reasonably say they could use it as a focus.
I did not even know. Huh. I did not notice
Anyways.
that either. That is actually an interesting detail.
So yes, I'm curious, Ross, because you were thinking it was just playful. Did you even realize the part where it like made an emphasis on it being a focus?
Oh no, I did notice that. But honestly, my main draw was these other features. I think this is just fun, like flavor idea.
No, again, to be clear, that's why this is campaign dependent. You're right.
Yeah.
The main reason to take this cantrip in most campaigns are these.
Right.
Because like I said, in the games we're running right now, and I'm sorry to spoil it for you, I will not be taking your spellcasting focuses. I have no interest in it. But in a game where that is something I have an interest in doing, this becomes such a powerful cantrip.
Right. You know, me personally, yeah, this was one of the spells from this book I was really hoping you would approve, so I could use it for Curse of Straw because I'm thinking about playing a bard.
I have some bad news. I feel like Curse of Strahd might be one of the games I wouldn't allow it.
You don't really lose your focus, really. Because all bards need is a musical instrument.
Again, you don't know what I'm going to have Strahd do.
That's true.
I said might. I have not committed. I feel like the vibe of Strahd, it is a game where I could see a villain taking a focus away. If they capture you.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah. I mean, what we could do is we could simply put you have to have a material component. Oh, like, you know what I mean? Like, material component to cast it to where, you know, I mean, you already have your focus anyway, probably.
But again, that would only be campaign dependent.
Yeah.
So for now, just say approved campaign dependent. Let's go next.
Yep. And then the last one we have, and I want to say we covered, is Preserve. Let me double check the document. I guess we haven't covered. I guess we covered it at some point.
All right. Well,
Anyway, Preserve. This is a spell cantrip for the bard, the cleric, the druid, the sorcerer, and the wizard. Basically,
All right.
a lot of casters.
We have its action, touch, verbal, somatic material. It's active containing a pinch of salt. It lasts 12 hours. Here is the dealio. Food and other perishable items weighing 5 pounds or less that you place in a sack don't age or decay for the duration. It is funny that we got this one after the last one. Because my instinct is to say this would be campaign dependent. However, this spell is only good in the campaigns that I would ban it. If I want to make keeping food and preserving food a challenge, I don't want you resolving that with a cantrip.
Well, I was gonna say we could do.
And
you continue.
that is all the spell cantrip does.
I will say we could do a change that has been done in the official books, where, it's not control water, but the cantrip that is they can make blocks of ice and whatnot. I cannot remember what it's called. It's like,
Pretty sure you're talking about control. Oh no, what's the cantrip?
yeah, what's the
Shape
cantrip?
water?
Shape water. Yes, shape water. We could limit it to, or have it like a hard limit of how many you could have active at once. Like this one is, I believe, control water, or not, control water. Shape water is 2. For the ice part specifically.
I mean, that doesn't get rid of my issue. In a campaign where this cantrip is useful, it is a campaign where I do not want you having this cantrip. If I am going to make part of the challenge of the adventure keeping your food from spoiling, I don't want you to be able to avoid any of it that easily.
I'm also trying to picture how much do rations, because that's like our normal measurement. How much does one thing of rations weigh? Because I'm curious now.
I think also you are misunderstanding how this works. It's not a hard limit of 5 pounds, Ross. It is the food items have to be, and they weigh 2 pounds.
2 pounds. Okay.
So you can put as many rations as you want in here.
Food or other perishables weighing 5 pounds or less, placed in the sack, do not age.
It's a limit on one item. The item can't be more than 5 pounds, but you can put more than 5 pounds in the bag.
The fact
Like
that
I
it says
said.
perishable items, I feel like that makes it to where everything had to be 5 pounds.
See, the fact that it says items is what tells me that it's not the total. If it said weighing a total of 5 pounds, it would be different. But the items are specified weighing 5 pounds.
I mean, either way,
If it said item, anyways,
it'd be making the argument like because I'm assuming for that campaign that you would have food be a hard time spoiling. You'd also ban Goodberry.
I would ban Goodberry. I would ban Create Food and Water. I would ban the spell
there's
that purifies food and water.
Like, there's literally no argument I can make. Normally, I have like a good argument and whatnot. That one, I
Yes.
mean, it makes
You are
sense. It's
correct.
like a survival
Yes.
kit. Like, literally for that.
Yes, it's really clear.
yeah,
The only reason we're not giving this one the campaign dependent tag at the end of the day, Ross, is because this spell is literally only useful in those campaigns. Because in most campaigns, if food preservation's not an issue, who cares, right?
I mean, yeah, no. And I'll be honest, I get the appeal of running something like that. I just feel like it'd be a little annoying to track. Especially if you have like multiple different food sources that
Oh.
you got like meat from this day, meat from that day. You
I
didn't get
think-
meat. It'd be a little
Yeah.
more annoying to keep track of and whatnot.
If I were to run that campaign, and I will say, at the moment I don't have that campaign in the works, though, the same campaign that I was talking about earlier, the more one where I might take your focus,
Right, you could probably do that
could
for
work
that.
with those rules, but again, at the moment that's not the plan for that one. But again, this is just talking about the hypothetical. And the issue is that hypothetical is literally the only use the spell has. So,
I guess in
unfortunately,
theory
the
you could
spell is
do.
banned.
I guess in theory you could have this. I know this is still gonna be banned, but I guess you could technically do preserve as a D&D equivalent of a fridge. Just casting it in multiple bags, or even just one big bag and just have it be like a fridge
That
thing
D&D
with-
equivalent of a fridge, though, Ross, is itself only useful in that campaign where I care.
I can see an NPC just randomly having this to be
Oh,
funny.
no, again, the flavor, and to be clear, in world, stuff spoils, but I just don't imagine the adventures will take place over a long time for that to happen. Anyway,
No.
we're at the point, though, yeah, this spell, I am disallowing it just for that reason.
Yeah. I'm ready for someone to look at the document and just see banned, look at the spell and be like, why'd you ban this? But the reasoning is solid. Like, it makes sense. It's like, what other purpose would it be? Honestly, it's the same situation as the calling card. Except,
Yeah.
A little different because, this actually has a...
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is all the cantrips.
So, yeah, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and look at
First level
level
spells.
1.
First level spells. The first one. And I've actually looked into this, and my thoughts have actually changed, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Arcane Aegis.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, right there.
All right, let's take us a look-see. Oh, wait, what am I doing? I want the version in the book to get the best experience. Here it is.
Yeah, so right there.
Okay,
So it's only for the
Arcane
wizard.
Aegis.
Action.
It is
self.
an action. You cast that self.
First
The
in command.
material is a statuette of a hedgehog. No price attached, so we'll assume you have it. It lasts a minute. When you cast this spell, you are surrounded by a shimmering light that quickly dissipates. You gain 2d10 temporary hit points. Oh, that's... But if a creature hits you with a melee attack before the spell ends, the creature takes force damage equal to the number of temporary points lost as a result of the attack. The spell ends early if you have no temporary hit points.
And you gain an extra 2d10 temporary hit points for each spell slot above first. So here's my first thoughts immediately. First off, that scaling might be a little much.
I don't think it is.
Oh?
No, I don't. See, I had the same reaction that you did, but then I remembered this is a 2024 spell. It is scaling based on 2024 healing.
That's true. But here's my first thought. When I first originally got the book, read the spell, originally I was thinking I had to do the proper comparison with Armor of Agathis. But then I noticed something. With Armor of Agathis, as long as you just have the generic temporary hit points, it'll be always doing the same damage. So if I were to cast level 1 Armor of Agathis, and I have 2 enemies hit me, one enemy does 3 damage, the other one does 5 damage, both enemies will be taking 5 damage. For this spell...
You have, in fact, just gotten a point that I think we need to establish. Thank you. Yes. Kara, I'm with you for the spell.
But this is just however many temporary hit points you lose. So, no matter what, this will be doing from 2 to 20 damage. Depending on how much damage the enemy does.
Yeah. That's a shame. I think I'm going to have to deny this one. It didn't even occur to me till you said it, but yes, Armor of Agathis exists.
Here's the thing, though. Here's something that I also want to bring up to the table for consideration.
Okay.
Armor of Agathis lasts longer and is a bonus action. Well, 2024 is a bonus action, but we're doing 2024 comparison. That's something that they changed with Armor of Agathis.
You're not wrong, but that's not enough. It just isn't enough.
But also, simply put, there's a chance you get less temp HP and less damage overall.
A chance, you're right, but that chance is not very high. Do me a favor, Ross. I want you to do me a favor. take some dice out of your dice bag, and I want you to roll 2d20 or 2d10 5 times.
2d10 5 times? Okay,
Yep.
that's my percentile die. I'm grabbing my fancy dice.
Mhm.
Let's see, that's a 3. That's a 8.
Mhm.
You said 5 times?
Yep, 5 times.
Oh, that's a 0, so that's a 10. That's a 4. And that's a 5. So overall, I got sort of lucky there.
You didn't get lucky. Honestly, those are some pretty mid rolls. And therein lies our problem. In theory, yes, you can get less than Armor of Agathis, but odds are you're going to get more.
Right. But there is also a chance that, let's say we do get lucky and get that 20 damage. What if somehow we get a chance? Now this is very, very unrealistic. I want to be clear. What if we only take 1 damage for every hit from our Armor of Agathis? Like that would be as equal to damage.
I mean, but as you've just so said, that is a very unlikely scenario.
Right.
It is also not the scenario either of these spells are designed for.
Right, it's meant to be a little offensive defensive type of deal where, like, you know, you get
Yeah.
some type
I
of
am not-
HP and
Yeah.
Yeah,
I am not going to change my stance on this because maybe if you are super unlucky, it's going to be worse than Armor of Agathis. That's not how this works.
I mean, we could simply make it to where it does 1d10 for both the starting and the scaling.
We could do that.
Because the difference would be on average for a d10 that's a 0.5.
Yeah, you are correct. At that point, yeah. But also at that point, this is very much. I feel like if we make that nerf, this spell hits too close to Armor of Agathis, which I know is ironic, because what the issue is. I honestly think, Ross, the answer is so much simpler than that.
Oh?
Make it a 2nd level spell. Keep the same scaling, so we'd get 40-10 temporary hit points at 2nd level. I would be much less concerned about this competing with Armor of Agathis as a 2nd level spell.
Wait, so just to clarify. You wouldn't allow this to be cast at 1st level, but 2nd level, and keep it as like an upcasted thing, so using a 2nd level spell slot, you would roll 40-10 for temp HP.
Correct, yes.
Okay. That's what I wanted to just make sure I was hearing that right.
There's something unbelievable about that statement?
No, I'm just saying, like, I just wanted to make sure I was understanding that correctly. But okay.
Yeah.
Allowed, but
It is a 2nd level spell now.
yeah, what's funny is originally I saw that I was like, how does this work with the Abjuration Wizard? But fun fact, this actually doesn't do the reflection job that Armor of Agathis does with the wizard than you think, because it would hit the ward first. It wouldn't be taking any temporary HP away, which means it won't deal any damage. But this can recharge the ward, so it's a give or take.
All right, what do we got next?
Next is, funny enough, literally right there, Assisted Aim, which is for the Bard, Cleric, Druid, Paladin, and the Ranger.
It's an action, 30 feet, verbal somatic, and it's a minute. You invigorate up to 3 creatures within range with improved accuracy. Each turret gains a +1 bonus to attack rolls it makes with ranged weapons. Initially, the normal and long range of ranged weapons wielded by a target are doubled for the spell's duration. You can target 1 additional creature for... Oh my god, this spell is... Oh, this spell needs rework. Not because it's bad, because it's bad, if that makes sense. All right, Ross.
Well, here's. Wait,
Before you
okay.
say anything, it's time to play Busted or Shit.
I wouldn't go all the way for busted for this point, but there is something I want to point out. Because
What's that?
my first comparison is, I see Cleric. I'm thinking, how does this compare to Bless? With Bless, it's on average what plus 2.5 for every attack roll.
Mhm.
That's not limited to ranged weapons. However, do you want something that's not a part of the spell? No concentration.
Fair enough. So, Busted or Shit.
Doubling the range sounds like it would be absolutely busted. However, a lot of times I'm never really in a scenario where a ranged weapon wouldn't do the job with already the range that it gets. I'm gonna say slightly shit. The fact that it's not concentration is a little bump, but it honestly just depends on the party.
It is shit. And the ironic thing is, this spell is actually a good idea, but it runs into a couple problems. Do you want to try and take a guess at where the problems were before I explain them?
Well, the first off is the fact that it's limited to just ranged weapons, ranged weapon attacks, basically.
Yeah, I get that.
So, and frankly, a lot of these characters, other than the ranger, you don't normally see a lot of ranged weapons. I mean, I've heard of a bow bard.
I mean, don't think about you're casting it on yourself, because you're not
True,
supposed to cast it on yourself. But that being said, therein lies our issue.
More than likely, it's
Up
going to
to
be
3.
maybe one ally using a ranged weapon. Probably two. 2 is reasonable. 3, maybe a stretch.
I think 2's a stretch in a lot of parties.
No, fair.
But yes, that is my first issue. This spell is going for this spell to be worthless. Well, just giving one person +1 and doubling their range is not going to matter. It needs to hit all 3.
Right.
And the odds are, in most party comps, it doesn't. And then we get to the upcasting.
Additional creatures that, I mean, you could upcast it to have civilians or militia or stuff that range.
But how many times are you going to be in that situation?
Right.
The point is, this spell falls off very quickly, and upcasting is not going to make it fall on. Here's my question for you, Ross. Also, if you're getting some... Anyways. Here's my question for you, Ross. It does not take too long in this game for +1 to suddenly stop being very useful.
Right.
It's always useful, to
it's
be
still
clear.
nice, but like sometimes that doesn't quite make a difference. Like again, the comparison is Bless, really.
Yeah, Bless almost always makes a difference.
Right.
And it is just better because you're helping everybody, basically.
Right.
Save
Even
any attack rolls.
heck, let's just say Bless only did attack rolls for this comparison. That one's always going to be helpful. Now,
Yeah.
doubling the range weapon attack is fun. Like if you're going for like
It
a
is
hand
fun.
crossbow, but also
But to be clear, it's only good if you have a party that
right.
you need to be playing basically an entire party of ranged fighters for this spell to be good. So
Fun fact: the long range
I am
weapon of a
gonna-
longbow would be
Yep.
1,200 feet.
I'm gonna mark this one with approved without thought.
Yeah, it's a neat idea, and if it happens in the party, I might cast it because again, no concentration.
Yeah.
It's nice.
To be good. Not bad, just not quite what we need.
Yeah, a little more. Anyway, we can also see the next one already right there as well. Binding Pledge, which is for the Bard, the Cleric, and the Wizard. Cast time 1 minute or ritual. You can ritual cast this.
I mean, interesting, but I feel like they just could have given it the ritual tag, but whatever.
Oh, did they not?
Nope, they just said ritual. So for all of this purpose, that's a ritual cast.
Okay.
10 days. When you cast a spell, a willing creature within range makes a promise, swears an oath, or enters into a contract. For the duration of the spell, you immediately know. or if the creature breaks the promise.
Or
Oath
oath
or
or
If this
contract.
happens,
Yeah.
for the remainder of the spell, you know the distance direction of the creature. If the spell is a spell, you know it, but don't learn the distance direction of the creature. The duration increases if you use a level 7+.
So okay, yeah, willing creature makes a promise. So it's basically a securing of a like making sure like okay, let's say you have the shopkeep. You're not sure if you want to trust him, so you make him like swear to you that your order will come in, like not from
We
his
can go.
issues.
We can go. We can go way easier than that, Ross. Let me paint a scenario for you. Let me paint a picture.
Okay.
All right. You are playing in a D&D campaign. You're playing, let's say, a tiefling with a winged tiefling.
Okay.
This is oddly specific.
Hey, very oddly specific.
And you need to make sure an item, or rather, you need to make sure that, let's say, a city called Lorne or something gets warned about an incoming disaster. You will go up to an NPC, cast this spell, and tell them, make sure you warn them. And you will know if the NPC betrays you. That is a super useful spell, with the caveat the person has to trust you enough to let you cast them on it.
Yeah, the fact that it has to be willing. If it didn't have willing,
If it didn't have
yeah.
willing, I would say that this spell is broken. But
right, the
with
fact that
willing,
it has to be
absolutely.
willing.
So yeah, approved. This spell's actually really cool.
Yeah. And the fact that it's a ritual spell is also really nice. Is this next one also next? No, it isn't. The next one should be nearby. It's called Bloodbane Rune. And it's only for the cleric. Wait, it is right there. There.
Yeah, it is an action, touch, somatic, concentration.
Up to a minute. Again,
Up
only
to
cleric.
1 minute. As part of casting this spell, you must expend a hit point die, or the spell automatically fails.
So,
ranging.
assuming we get this as a cleric, that's a D8.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And for the duration while you wield this weapon, it weeps a phantasmal relic within 30 feet of an undead creature. Additionally, once per turn, when you damage an undead creature with a weapon, you deal extra radiant damage. Determine this damage. Roll the number of hit point dice you expended.
And it basically lasts longer and more hit dice expended when you upcast it.
Okay. I hate to say this. This is outclassed by the Paladin's Smite. By such an incredible point that I think this spell, by its nature, with its extra cost, spending a hit dice, which I feel has been our answer to like a lot of these Sangromancy spells.
Yeah, it's a neat idea, but it's like hit dice are
like,
very important. Here's the thing though. I'm not quite exactly confident to say that it is outclassed by the Paladin Divine Smite. Sure, Paladin Divine Smite on an undead is what for first level 3d8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
This is lasting for a minute, so you could, in theory, allow this to last long. The only thing that's up to debate is this worth our concentration and a hit die? What if we casted Bless instead?
Because the answer I would say is no.
Right.
The answer I would say is no. And even that, let's take a look at another spell.
Holy Weapon, which is 5th level.
Yeah. Still worth comparison. Still worth comparing. So 5th level, it's bonus action. View up
lasts for an hour.
They'll open actually 2 hit radiant on a hit. If the weapon isn't already magical, it becomes one. I think honestly my big issue with this spell is its arbitrary limits. The fact that this spell only works against undead.
Right.
Now, it's a cleric spell, so that means that you can prepare it whenever you feel that you're going to go up against undead, so it's not like an immediate issue. But I think I'm going to have to get some improve that.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's see. We already covered Blood Rush. Next we have Boil Blood. Oh, man, you're really quick on the trigger for this. Let's see. Another Sanchromancy. This one's for the Cleric, Druid, Ranger, Sorcerer, and the Warlock.
It's an action. You touch verbal somatic. It lasts instantaneous. As part of cast this spell, you must expend a blah 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 blah. A willing target takes fire damage equal to a roll of the minus hit damage. If the target has the poison condition, that condition immediately. What?
So you sacrifice a hit die, and
You
the target
do an
takes
ounce
fire
amount of
damage.
Fire damage, and you remove the poison condition.
That could theoretically kill a wizard if they're low on HP, because Rangers are D10 hit die, right? I'm not crazy. If you played a Ranger, isn't a Ranger a D10?
I think so. Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head.
Well, here's the thing, Flips. I wouldn't even consider, or even though this one works for the comparison, I was thinking Lesser Restoration would be the comparison.
I mean, I was looking for this one for a very specific reason.
Oh.
But I'll look at Restoration for a second. That's what is that? It's also second level.
Yeah, it's also second level.
You're right. Yeah, no, that is a good comparison in that case.
Because they're both instantaneous.
Yeah.
Like, the real thing is the target taking damage because you're trying to cast basically a part of Restoration early.
Yeah, I would argue that this is the damage. I think is enough. Once again, I think it is. Technically, these Synchromancy spells are new mechanics, so we should probably review them as such.
Right.
And I think our experience has been negative. It feels like they're overcompensating.
A lot of times, yeah. I think Synchromancy can work. I think Synchromancy can be fun. I just don't think there hasn't been really any spell so far that we've looked at that is hit on that niche of I would be willing to cast this. The hit dice would be it'd be served great with this.
I mean,
especially with the early level ones.
Yeah, let's just spoil it right down here. A level 1 spell. They want us to cast this level 1 to 2.
Right, and that's already half our hit dice at the minimum.
Yeah. Well, not even about not being hit dice. This is a killer.
This can kill. Literally, if you are a ranger... Now, actually, well, rangers, you have to be second level to even cast this to begin with. So, more like it won't kill properly a character, but still.
But I would argue it still kills. I would argue it still kills.
It can kill.
Warlocks are also D8s. And so are clerics.
And druids. The only one that's the smallest is a sorcerer.
Is D6.
Are druids D6?
But yeah,
But anyway, it doesn't matter. Either way. But yeah, no, like, there's...
What? I didn't say druids are D8s. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I wasn't trying to apply.
Oh.
I think you mixed me reading stuff as me replying to you, which it was.
Oh, okay.
Anyways.
But yeah, no,
Point is,
how badly do I want to get this? There is one case where this could have been useful. In Out of the Abyss, when Eve was still playing a bard and she ended up being that special poison.
Correct, yes.
This would be a case where this
Except
could be handy.
I
but
have some bad
still.
news. That was a disease.
Oh, the disease also caused the poison condition?
I don't even remember if she had the poison condition. The poison condition was a different part of that. The poison condition was coming from something else in that adventure.
Okay. But that's a good point.
The big thing about the disease was the whole character just automatically dies. Anyways, let's get to the next one. Yeah, Proof Without Thought.
Yeah, Proof Without Thought. Maybe a situation where it would be useful will come up, but I doubt it.
What's next?
Let's see. We already covered Consumption. Do we want? We got Creeping Touch, which I believe we had covered in the previous book, but maybe there are changes.
All right. Well, what did we say about it in the previous book then?
We just said approved. Let's see. So Creeping Touch, Transmutation for the Bard, Sorcerer, Warlock, and the Wizard. Action self.
The action self, verbal somatic, concentration up to 10 minutes. I need you to, before you do anything else, I need you to go grab the previous version and give it a read.
Yep.
Because I want to...
Thankfully, I kept this document open.
Yeah. If it turns out it's the same bloody spell, well, you know I'm going to keep my same ruling.
Right. Let's say you did. Let's see. Concentration 10 minutes, first level, transmutation. Yep, everything seems the same. You detach your hand at the wrist, transforming it into a spider. While the spider is within 100 feet from you, you can communicate with it telepathically. In addition, as an action, you can see through its eyes and hear until the start of your next turn, during which you're deaf and blinded condition, normal senses stuff. If the spider is killed or prevented from returning to you, your hand is restored, but you take 1d6 points of psychic damage. If you command the spider to return, it crawls back to your wrist and the spell ends. Is that about the same?
There is literally one change, Ross. Good luck finding it.
Is it the fact that they listed it as a magic action?
No. That's not a change.
Also,
There's one actual legitimate change.
Also, I guess
one thing about the spell change.
Also, real quick, one nerf about this thing, I guess, is you can't action surge command your hand.
Yeah. We know.
Anyway, so one small difference.
There's one change.
Is it the fact that is the fact that you have to use a bonus action to command it to come back?
Correct. That's the one change.
Which, funny enough, did the other one actually? Did I read anything?
The assumption is there's no action required and nothing is listed.
Yeah, they nerfed it a little.
Anyways, since it is one change, you can say, I will say with confidence, approved.
Yeah.
There is one change, so the spell is basically the exact same. So, in my opinion, does not change.
Yep. Next one is Ghostlight. Oh, we got some art for this one too. Let's for the next one. Actually, that might be for the next one.
It's literally called Greater Animate Dead, and the art is animating dead.
Yeah, I was reading that. Like, probably for the next one. Anyway, Ghostlight, which is a first level evocation spell for the bard, the cleric, the sorcerer, and the wizard.
It is an action of the range of touch with a verbal somatic material non-cost component. Lasts an hour. You touch one object that is no larger than 10 feet in any dimension, and specify any number of creatures you can see within 10 feet. Until the spell ends, the object sheds silvery bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light for an additional 20 feet. This light is only visible to the creatures you specified during the casting of the spell. All other creatures perceive this area affected by the light as they regularly would.
Honestly, this is
actually
some fun
really
utility.
Cool. Oh, hell yes, this does. I mean,
it lasts an hour too? Ooh.
Yeah. I think maybe it should be concentration. I'm giving it some thought. This is a pretty major advantage you're getting. If you're presuming your opponents do not have dark vision, which I know is a big presumption, but let's assume for now. Presuming they do not have dark vision and it is in a dark area, you are giving yourself an advantage without your opponents having it. This is going to basically give everybody advantage on their opponents. Again, all those presumptions made for potentially the rest of the combat. I think I gotta make the call and make it concentration. Ross?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to think of like a good argument, because a part of me doesn't want to give it concentration. But that is a very fair point.
Yeah, your job in these seems to be the lawyer for the features, so...
I mean, that is sort of what I like to do. I will say, though...
You've got something, a reason, give me it.
I will say, this won't always be the case. Because I don't know how often you see this, Plebes. But if a monster has sunlight sensitivity, this wouldn't do anything against that.
Well, that is true. That's not why you cast this.
Right. No, I'm just saying, if you were to fight something that ends up, like, you have the spell up, they have sunlight sensitivity.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be a coincidence thing.
Let me just boil a scenario down for you, okay? And you can take it as you will. If all you need is a light, and that's all you need, and your enemies have dark vision, would you cast this spell?
I think it would more depend because because you have to, for me, I'm comparing it to like the cantrip. So I guess the scenario would be: are we trying to be stealthy, or are we trying to? Do we just need a light?
Which is why I repeat: if your opponents have dark vision, would you cast this spell?
I would consider it because with dark vision, they can't identify you perfectly. Maybe they were expecting people to come in. Maybe they're setting up an ambush. It really just depends on because they can't see.
I think the answer is no. I soundly think the answer is no.
No? Okay.
Yeah, I soundly think the answer is no. I am telling you, if they have dark vision, they are going to be able to find you. That's not going to affect the stealth rolls.
Right.
Not at least with the way we play, the rules we play with. So the reason I bring this up means that this spell is basically going to always, in the scenario where the quite legitimate scenario, although rare, that you would actually cast this spell is always going to give you advantage. And not being concentration is huge. Free advantage on the entire arm, on all the enemies for 1 hour is insane. Am I wrong?
It can, but there are a good number of ways to create. A lot of people have torches.
Also, you're right. But again, this isn't about the torches, Cross.
But now they're able to
Ross,
see, and they can see.
I mean, yeah, we're getting our wires crossed here. Okay, so let me just both them. The scenario where you suggested. Well, let's just put that out of the way right now, okay? The stealth scenario. If you are casting this, what other spell would you want to be concentrating on, anyways?
Okay. If we had Druid or Ranger on this list, pass out a trace.
But no, they're on those lists.
Right,
So,
not on those lists.
like
So
I
I
said-
can't consider those.
Anyways, so I would argue if you are casting this spell and you're in this scenario where you're doing so for stealth, in that very hypothetical scenario you gave me that I don't even really think exists, but for the sake of argument, let's say it does, I would argue that it being concentration would not change your ability to do so.
Okay.
You're concentrating on this spell for an hour, that's fine. Everyone loves you, yay, and they're all being all stealthy, and the ranger's handling the pass without trace. You're good, right?
Yeah.
So, let's throw that out of the way. Then the other thing you say. The enemy brings out a torch. That was what you said, right?
Yeah, brings out a torch and is lighting a. I'm assuming lighting a torch is an action, right?
Probably, but that's not besides the point. When the enemy does that, why would you want to keep this spell up?
I mean, it lasts for an hour, so the fight doesn't last that long. Let's say I cast it, and within, let's say 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's not my question.
Right? Why would you keep this spell up?
You are trying to convince me for this not to be concentration. So, I want to ask you: is it super important that when they light that torch that you keep it up? And also, even so, I still don't get why we don't want this to be concentration. What I guess I'm trying to say is, I don't. Your point seems to be this spell is not as good as I think, but it doesn't seem to. It doesn't mess with the argument I'm asking for. Why should this spell not be concentration? What changes about the spell if it's not concentration, or if it is concentration rather?
Well, I guess if you're saying the stealth situation has no merit, then here's my question to you. Let's say we throw on concentration on this.
Yep.
Why would I want to cast a spell when light exists? Because light does the exact same radius for light sources.
I mean,
exact same for free.
I explained to you why. It's for a very, very niche, very specific scenario. A scenario that, admittedly, as a player, you will probably have to set up to get use out of. But that doesn't make it a bad spell. This spell's combat utility is tied to that very specific scenario. Which means, whether the spell is concentration or not, if that scenario never comes up, this is not a good combat spell. That does not change whether this is concentration or not. In a very specific scenario where you somehow manage, and again, there's going to be probably some player creativity to make this happen, you somehow manage to encounter a group without torches, without dark vision, in a dark place. In that scenario, and again, it can happen, I want to be clear. As a DM, I'm saying, there are ways to make it happen. This spell is really, 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 really good.
I also want to backtrack. So let's say I wanted to cast this when, like, let's say exploring a dungeon, there's no enemies, but like there might be a puzzle you want to see. Do you know what spell I would want to concentrate on? Detect magic.
Yeah, and again, fair enough, but again, I would argue in theory, somebody else can have detect magic up. I don't think having to have both spells up is as much a detriment as you think, especially since detect magic is a ritual spell and this lasts an hour. So you cast this, the wizard takes 10 minutes, boom. In this scenario, you're a bard, by the way.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah, I put approved added concentration. Yeah. Next we have you see Insight Rot? It's the one beneath that. I have no clue how to pronounce it. Intaglio, which that one I don't know. Let me double check. I don't believe this is a part of the regular one, but let me double check. Original one, but I'm gonna double check. It is not. So let's see. Who is this for? It's Transmutation, Bard, Cleric, Paladin, and Wizard.
It's an action or ritual, so this is a ritual spell. Touch, verbal, somatic material, blah. Concentration up to an hour.
Okay.
You create a duplicate of a text or image. During the spell's duration, you can take a magic action to trace your hand over any non-magical text or image on the surface within range. You copy the text or image onto a new medium that you provide, such as another book or parchment. The spell copies a single page with each magic action. Ooh. When copying a spell book, you can do so using the same method as you would copy. Wait, let me see if this works. I'm sorry. I think I need to double check here. Transmutation, you can take a magic action. You copy it. Spell copies a single page with each. When copying a spellbook, you can do so using the same method as you would replace a spellbook. Sometimes you performance both have.
I do want to keep in mind. We have to keep in mind something important. They changed how the initiate for each of the wizard subclasses works, because that's the first thing. That's when I'm reading this. First time reading this, that's the first thing that comes to mind. They changed how it works. Now, it doesn't do the half gold and half time for your same school.
Yeah.
Now, I believe it just adds let's say, the evocation wizard. I believe it just adds more spells to your book, basically automatically. When you pick up
with all of that in mind, I have a fun little piece of trivia. But first, let's go over how the spell actually works. I have something ironic for you.
Okay.
I'm not seeing much value in this spell being concentration, ironically enough.
Because I think I know where you're going with that. Why would I ever be in like a combat? Okay, I'm not. I keep on saying combat. This is a spell that you would do more than likely during downtime. More than likely.
But here's the more important thing. As far as I am reading and interpreting, this is why I had to double check something.
Right.
It is literally copy, then you have to immediately paste. You cannot copy, run to your house, paste, run back to the library, copy, paste. You have to copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste.
But do you? Wait,
Now-
so you take a magic concentration hand over magical text, you copy the text to the... You're right, it'd have to be like a... It'd have to be like... You have like one written document. I imagine like, let's say a wanted poster. I don't know if a wanted poster would be valid for this, but let's say it is.
Mm-hmm.
From what it looks like, I think
I
it is.
mean,
But yeah,
honestly,
you can have
that's a really in a particular thing. That's a really cool vor way to have your printing presses.
that's
You
what
have
this
this
spell
one
is. This
old
is
wizard.
this is just the printing
I'm
press.
the old. They call me Cloppy Clop Paste. That's my germ and my name, Cloppy Clop Paste. Copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. But you don't know his name. His name is Controlicus. Controlicus Cornelius Verity. That's his name. Controlicus Cornelius Verity.
Yeah, that's my thought. It's like this is the printing press.
Yeah, but what it is more useful on the player side, and we should address this, is, well, obviously, we'll talk about that in a second because I won't talk about it in a second, but mainly it is you want to get a copy of a specific document, maybe like a ticket to a gala, the deed to a house, whatever. You have a perfect copy. Then they added a feature.
Being able to
Or they implied it could do something that if I were to originally read it, I would assume it could not.
and that is
you can
being able to
take a
copy the
magic-
spellbook.
Yeah, you can take a magic action to trace your hand over any non-magical text. I mean, I get it, spellbooks probably aren't inherently magical, but in my head, they fall under magical text. Anyways. But you can do so. All that being said,
And you get a little bit of benefit for it.
this spell is approved.
Yeah.
I say axe concentration.
Remove concentration?
Yeah. It makes absolutely no difference, but do it.
Yeah. Hold on, red. Next spell. Neutralize Aura.
Ooh, this might be some fun fancy stuff.
This is for the Bard, the Cleric, and the Paladin.
It lasts a minute, or it casts taking a minute. The range is touch, verbal, somatic material. Let's
So
play sage.
more than likely, you
Concentration
can't.
up to an hour.
So more than likely, you cannot cast this in combat.
I mean, it would take you 10 turns. You touch a
Right.
boiling creature and neutralize its aura until that spell ends. The target can't be perceived by Fae, Fiends, Celestials, and Undead.
The spell
Spell
ends.
ends, or if after the target makes a tactical deal damage, cast a spell, or moves within 5 feet of one of the creature types. Ooh. You can target one additional creature.
So quick question about
This
that
one
last
should
bit.
totally be concentration, for the record.
Yeah, which already is. Also, quick question.
Mm.
Moves within 5 feet of one of the creature types. Would that trigger if, let's say I have the spell cast on me. I'm up against the wall, but let's say a fiend that's walking down the hallway walks into where the 5 feet would be. Would that count as me moving into like next to it, or would that break the spell? Is what I'm saying.
That would not break the spell. However, your next step might, depending on how he's positioned.
Right. So you'd have to like be standing still. I was like hoping he goes away.
Correct.
So basically, this is,
But
Oh.
So I want to take a look at invisibility. Just for one quick second.
right. I mean, that's the first thing that I thought of too. If we're doing a comparison, because there's no other. I don't believe there's no other spell that makes it to where you're unperceived by something.
Correct. So, I want to ask you a question, Ross.
Yep.
Does invisibility make this spell redundant? Yes or no?
No.
I don't think so.
Because
no.
I mean, invisibility is the generic
Yeah.
overall creature types,
Yeah.
which I think there are 13.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter.
But yeah, the big thing about this, the thing that makes this better is this isn't relied on sight So that means that True Sight's going to pass over this. Smell is going to pass over this. Blind Sight's going to pass over this. They cannot perceive you.
Right.
Anyways, I'm proving this now.
Yeah. Next we have Shroud Blood. All right, we got another Sangromancy spell. One for the Illusion School. We got the classes for get it are Bard, Druid, Ranger, and Wizard.
It is an action. A range of 30 feet. Components of verbal magic concentration up to 10 minutes. The start of casting the blah. You can choose yourself or willing creature within 30 feet of yourself to have advantage on dexterity stealth checks. So on stealth checks, when the target loses
the invisible condition,
you can take a reaction to to gain the invisible condition for a number of rounds equal to the number of hit points.
Here's what you gotta consider.
Target loses the attack roll deals.
Here's what you gotta consider. The invisible condition is its own condition now for 2024.
Well, so that is true. We have an issue. This spell has an issue immediately. That's what the what's are for.
Oh?
There is something about this spell, Ross, I want you to figure it out, that immediately caught my attention.
Well, you started saying what when you read, when the target loses the invisible condition. Like, you started saying what after the advantage on stealth checks. It can take a reaction.
I guess that's your clue.
It can take a reaction to gain the invisible condition.
I want to double check something before I lie to you.
Hi, skills table.
Yeah. The other 2024 rules. Nope, that's it. That's it. It doesn't say the things I wanted it to say.
Oh, what were you looking for? Because maybe it says
I can't tell you that. That would give it away. I saw what I wanted to see, Ross. To be clear.
It
is with that my point still remains. What?
So you can use a reaction to basically keep the invisible condition, but you expend a hit dice, which at most 10 rounds if you're a ranger and you rolled max. And the losing condition immediately after. It doesn't have a. Well, this is definitely not what you were saying, because you didn't finish reading it, but here's something that I'm noticing. There's no real, I guess, end condition to this.
It lasts 10 minutes.
Well, no, what I mean is, you would assume with something like this that, maybe after you use the if they're caught and they use the reaction, that would end up stopping the spell once that hit dice round timer thing ends. But it doesn't, which means in theory you could lose the invisible condition, gain it with the reaction, and then hide again. And gain the invisible condition.
That is...
You see what I'm saying?
That is interesting. I don't think that's raw, but that's not what I was saying you're right. And I will say this right now. I have been giving it to think about it. After giving it a moment of thought, I actually like the thing that caught me off guard.
Oh.
I think it's cool, but weird.
I guess the fact that you use a reaction to become invisible, so let's say an ogre discovers a hiding spot, moves the rock, I'm just standing there. I just do the peace sign and just disappear again.
Here, Ross, I want to ask you a question, Ross. What does the spell do? Straight up, when I cast
mechanically,
what does it do?
So it gives advantage to a creature that you choose for it, which you are a valid target.
Yep.
And basically give them advantage on stealth checks. Which, cool, already.
End sentence. That's it. By itself, that is all this spell does. That's what I was saying what to. What this spell does not do is give you the invisible condition.
Oh, okay. So like the ally that gets a spell casted on them, again, could be yourself. They would have to actively hide in order to get the invisible condition.
That was what I was checking.
I
Even
see.
in 2024, hiding does not give the invisible condition.
Can we double check?
I'm actually not.
Yeah, let's double check invisible
Yeah,
condition.
invisible. Maybe it works differently. Invisible condition, 2024. I'm not reading the AI overview. This is 2014. I don't want to read this. Here, wait. No, this is. Okay, but surely is this gonna be a link? No, why would it give me a link?
Go back to the spell for a moment.
I was in the spell.
No. Go back to the spell we're looking at, the new one.
Oh, you know what? That's smart. Yeah, we can just click it here.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look. So this is 21. Yep. So invisible condition. While you have the invisible condition, if you are invisible with you aren't affected by any effects. Blah blah blah. This doesn't say how to get the invisible condition. So yes, it needs. So stealth won't do it. Hiding does not just give you the invisible condition, unfortunately. Because we look here, because I looked stealth, right? Escape notice by moving and hiding behind things. It doesn't say that. Unless it's in
hide. Wait.
Hide.
I saw hide for a moment.
Where'd you say hiding? Adventurers. We try to take the hide action. Here we go. This is gonna boil it down. When you take, right. This is stupid, and we all agree this is stupid the way they're doing this now. Check while you're and you must be.
It looks like you have the invisible condition.
So it does. So that is how it works now. So you have to do that yourself, though.
Right. You have to actively do it.
Which I think is really interesting. And yeah, that was what I was reacting. It's like, okay, so this is something that you have to start.
Yeah, you have to actively your ally knows they have this on them.
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, so once you get it, and here is what I will also say. This spell would need to be reworked. So yeah, this spell would need to be reworked at our table, because I am never, ever adapting the 2024 hide action. I hate it so much. Like, just a static 15 is... What?
Yeah, no, that's stupid.
So, I'm never adapting that.
Heck, literally, rogues can have minimum input into Dex, and pass that hide action easily. What's the hit level? I think it's level 7 is when they get the, anything that they're proficient in is automatically a 10.
Anyways,
yeah,
so
either
you
way.
get the point. You get the issue, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we'd have to do a rework of it, which...
But, I mean, all we really have to do is say, if someone discovers that you are hidden, or if you are break stealth, you can retake the hide action as a reaction. It's very easy to do. Otherwise, however, I'm improving the spell.
Hide action as a reaction. Yeah. Anyway, you're also the next one's already on there. Somnolence.
Somnolence. So it's going to be some kind of sleep spell.
Which is for the bard and the warlock. I also see a long rest, long sleep here. I don't know what.
That's what.
What?
Oh yeah, I just realized. By the way, we actually found something that we weren't upset about how many hit dice is the cost.
Honestly, yeah, no. I mean, you're getting this earlier than invisibility, but I mean,
anyways,
it's
yeah, somnolence. But again, the invisible condition is so much easier to get out done. Anyways, somnolence. Right. Is an action, 30 feet, verbal, somatic material, sandwich with a blah blah blah. As part of blah 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 blah.
Hit dice or spell automatically fails.
Roll the hit point die expended to cast a spell plus
2d12.
2d12, and choose a creature within range. If the roll is total is equal to or greater than the chosen creature's current hit points, the creature falls into a magical one. If the roll is total is or the chosen creature's hit point maximum, the magical slumber lasts for 24 hours instead. The spell ends on a target if it takes damage or someone within or from the spell.
Wait, is it
Creatures that don't sleep. Ross? This one is so obvious what happened. Whoever designed this spell hated that they changed how sleep spell works. So they're like, I'm just going to put the old sleep spell back in.
Well, there are a couple differences. First off, this is only single target.
You're right. There are a couple differences. But
what's confusing me is I'm reading the first part where it says if the total number rolled is equal to or greater than the chosen creature's maximum hit points, they fall to a magical slipper for a minute. But then it says the same exact thing.
You're
but
reading
then
it wrong. You're reading it wrong.
Am I reading it wrong?
Yeah. If the roll is total or equal or greater than the chosen creature's current hit points.
Oh,
Minute.
Okay, they got me.
Maximum is 24 hours.
I see. Okay. Spell ends if the target takes damage, or if someone within 5 feet takes an action to shake them. A creature woken by this spell gains a level of exhaustion.
I'm willing to allow this exhaustion and all because I think one level of exhaustion is not going to be a big game breaker thing here.
Yeah, no. And if you realistically, if you wanted to play off the exhaustion thing, you'd have to use high spell slots, and even then, this doesn't scale crazy high.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. I mean, that's just like the proper spell. Yeah, no. So, but it is very clear. This is basically a knee-jerk reaction to them changing how sleep spell works. Which, you know what, fair enough.
Right.
Honestly, I go back and forth on it. Honestly, I actually do go back and forth on it.
Right.
All right. Well, that's that. This is approved.
Also has the long sleep. I don't know what that.
Adherence to the potential proliferation of the almost spell that takes 10 minutes requires the sacrifice of human. These believe that when the ritual is completed, it stays off the waking of lore. It's lore stuff.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was important to the spell or not. Like clarifications.
No.
We got 3 more. Or no, 4. 4. My bad. Next one, Thorn Armor. Yes.
I'm sorry. That you're the one doing the classes. That's your job.
You said so I thought you had to say something. Thorn Armor. Abjuration. It is for the Druid and Ranger.
It's an action to cast. The range is touch. Verbal somatic material rose because every rose has its thorn.
Yep.
And every cowboy. When you cast a spell, a flexible exoskeleton covered in thorns appears around a willing target within range. Dark gains 3d6 temporary hit points. The creature there with the attack roll, the creature takes piercing damage equal to the number of temporary hit points lost. The spell ends early if the target has no remaining temporary hit points granted by the spell. The target grants. So this is just like that other spell, but you cast it on other people.
No, it's on your. Oh no, it is on other. Oh yeah, it is other people. You can cast it. I'd not even noticed that.
So with that in mind,
the average of 3d6 is 9.5, I think.
That's a bit.
9.5, giving it to other allies.
I think in that case, we're going to have to get the same treatment as the last spell. Which, in a sense, kind of makes the last spell kind of redundant.
Well, it's for different classes.
I guess fair enough, but yeah, we'll give it the same treatment as the last spell.
Okay, fun fact, I've looked into this, and because of how they change... Because something they also changed about Armor of Agathis, and I'm sure you've heard about this, is the fact that it doesn't have to be the Armor of Agathis temp HP that is lost.
I remember that. I remember that.
I looked... I wanted to look into like a weird build where you have Armor of Agathis, you get the previous spell, I forget what it's called, and you have this on yourself all at once. You cast the Thorn Armor last, not the highest possible one, because that's the temp HP that matters.
Yep.
I'm sure there's something dumb and fun you could do with that.
Almost certainly.
Root made cast at second level. Alright. The next one. This one I also looked at, and it's actually just Tremor right there. I really like this one. So it's an evocation. It's available for the Bard, the Druid, the Ranger, the Sorcerer, and the Wizard.
The casting time is an action. The range is self. It's verbal smack material, small bell. Concentration up to a minute. The ground around you in a 15-foot emanation begins to shake violently. You are unaffected by the tremors. The ground is considered difficult terrain, and whenever the emanation enters a creature's space, a creature enters the emanation or the creature enters turn. Then the creature takes a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 26 points of damage, and the creature makes a save only once per turn.
And increase damage by one per level. I like the high risk, high reward because there's nothing that excludes your allies.
You are correct.
But I still like this.
The thing-
This is really fun.
The thing that, by the way, excludes your allies is you don't walk into your allies. It's not
Right.
say high risk, high reward. You know how the spell works. There's not a chance. Anyways,
Well, sometimes you want an
I'm
ally to
going
be
to-
closer.
then I wouldn't cast the spell. I'm going to approve.
I really like this. Approved. Next one. Vampiric Claws. Big, meaty claws.
Vampiric claws.
This is for the. This is transmutation spell, first level, for the Druid, the Ranger, the Sorcerer, and the Wizard.
Casting time is a bonus action on yourself. It's only got verbal components. Concentration up to a minute. You sprout wicked claws when you use your unarmed strike to deal damage with a new growth. It deals 1d6 slashing damage instead of dealing normal damage for your unarmed strike, and you use your spellcasting for the. I think we've looked at this before.
No,
We haven't looked at this in the old book.
we have not.
Okay.
We looked at. I think you're
Uh,
thinking of the Warlock Vampire thing.
Anyways,
Yeah. Anyway.
while the spell lasts, each time you deal damage with an unstrike, you gain a number of temporary hit points equal to your spellcasting ability modifier. Temporary points on the spell are lost when the spell ends. It deals 1d6 flash damage instead of dealing damage using strength. When you fail, also that's time you deal. I'll allow it.
Yeah, I mean, if you compare this to another one, even though Heo's not temp HP, it's the third level. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Vampiric Touch? That's 3d6. So
When
like
you're
that's,
thinking of, I think.
the scaling of the damage would be about the same if you were upcasting it.
Mm-mm. I wouldn't go that far. Anyways,
Yeah.
I
so-
will actually say, you saying Vampiric Touch makes me want to go back on it because this will last longer, but I'm going to stick with my guts, and this is allowed.
Do they last about the same? Doesn't last for a minute. I'm pretty sure the other one's also concentration for a minute too.
Let me take a look at Vampiric Touch, because I don't think it is, but I'm willing to double check. I believe it is just you cast it and you've cast it. Oh, no, you're right. My bad.
Yeah, for a minute.
Yeah. In that case, yeah, just approved. We're good.
And then our last spell of the first levels is Vibrating Hammers.
Nope. Come on, Ross. I'm not even going to correct you. You got this one. Come on, you can do it.
I was about to say a joke answer and say Vibrating Homers. But no.
Nope, but honestly, talking
You're
about
getting
joke
closer.
answers, you're getting on the right vibe, Ross.
Hummers.
You're getting closer.
Nope.
Closer.
Vibrating Humors.
There you go.
This is Ross pronunciation bee. Anyway. This is a level 1 evocation spell, although it's Necromancy. We got some blood magic. This is for the Bard, the Sorcerer, and the Wizard.
We got a casting time of an action, a range of 30 feet, verbal somatic material, a tuning fork. You can just use the tuning fork you're using for your plane shift spell that you totally have already. Concentration up to a minute. As part of casting the spell, you must expend a blah blah blah. A creature you can see within 30 feet, you must make a con save. On a failed save, the target takes thunder damage and has disadvantage on dexterity checks from its blood vibrating loudly. To determine this damage, roll the hit die expended to cast.
And
Yep.
the trigger repeats the save at the end of each of its turns, ending the spell on the success.
Wait. We need to do something. Sorry, give me a second. So the damage is only happening once, which actually makes the spell kind of lame.
That's what I
The
was
spell
wondering.
is
This is
actually the spell is lame for a first level spell, even if it wasn't. Even if it was, if it didn't cost hit dice.
I feel.
Approved without thought, Ross. Approved without thought.
Yeah, I feel like if I would like this more if Tasha's Caustic Brew didn't exist, which is like another damage over time concentration thing.
But this doesn't do damage over time is the issue.
It should. There's no reason why it shouldn't.
You're correct. Anyways, that's it. That is it. We're good.
And yeah, we'll be back after a little break to cover the second level spells.
All right, GG, we did it.